My number one argument is the pragmatic argument. If you care about people doing well academically, being prepared for careers, to have a successful life, the number one thing you need to do is find something that gives them energy, that lights them up, that makes them feel animated. Because a sullen child sitting in a classroom being drilled on algebra isn't going to happen. All the studies about education and learning show us that it's the motivation of the teacher and the motivation of the learner that have the most to do with whether the person learns. So there's this famous study done of foreign language learning that looked at total immersion and old-fashioned grammar, drill and repeat, learn vocabulary. And what they found is that either method worked beautifully if the student was motivated. And the thing that correlated most with the student's motivation was the teacher motivated. So if the teacher loves new methods, that probably works better. If the teacher likes old methods, that may work fine. So the number one reason to teach music in schools is there are a lot of students for whom that's the pathway to opening them up to the idea of learning in the first place.
Music is more than just music. Research has shown that learning music facilitates learning other subjects and enhances skills that children use in other areas such as language development, increased IQ, brain activity, spatial temporal skills, and improved test scores. Recent studies have also shown that musical training physically develops the part of the left side of the brain that is involved with processing language. Linking familiar music to new information helps imprint information on young minds. Glenn Schellenberg from the University of Toronto performed a study published in the 2004 issue of Psychological Science that found a small increase in the IQ of 6-year-olds who were given weekly piano and voice lessons. He found that children that were provided 9 months of singing and piano lessons tested on an average 3 points higher than the groups of students that did not have musical lessons every week. Research has proved that the brain of a musician, even at a young age, is different than the brain of a non-musician. Dr. Eric Rasmussen states that children involved in music have a larger growth of neural activity than people not involved in music. A study led by Ellen Winner found changes in the brain images of children who underwent 15 months of weekly music practice. With spatial intelligence, students are able to visualize various elements that go together. An example of this would be like what students do when they are solving a math problem. These skills come into play into solving multi-step problems someone encounters in architecture, engineering, math, art, gaming, and working with computers. Students who have experience with music performance and appreciation score higher on the SAT. One report indicated 63 points higher on verbal and 44 points higher on math for students enrolled in music appreciation classes. Other benefits of having music in school includes the mastery of memorization, increased coordination, a sense of achievement, and fun. Kids want to have fun in school, so why would we take away music?
I remember one day my mother asked me, "What did you learn at school?" And I said, "I learned that I want to be a singer."
Music has touched all our lives.
I just wanted to play the drums. I just wanted to bang on things. I could tell you with my eyes closed the smell of a Ludwig drum catalog.
And everyone has a story to tell.
I remember my teacher, Mr. La Rosa.
My conductor, Mr. Jesus Concepcion.
Miss Kerr, it was the first time I'd ever really done anything musically.
Everything was always ta, ta, ti, ti, ta.
Ta, ta, tiki, ta.
He's just an inspiration to me.
When I was a kid growing up, we always had plenty of opportunities, plenty of instruments. In fact, we had like 5 music lessons a week.
My first run-in with music was in elementary school. I fell in love with the oboe.
We both pretty much like Miles Davis. Yeah, it's good music.
I never knew about classical music, about Mozart and Beethoven, until I joined the orchestra and I picked up the viola for the first time.
The music can help you go places in life.
It helped me gain self-confidence to know that a kid from the inner city can play viola and goes to different places like Carnegie Hall.
I just want to keep, music in my life.
When
I see my former students, walking down Avenue C, Avenue D, and they greet me with a smile and say how fun it was in my room. It makes me feel privileged.
Music in a school is really transformative. It makes kids engaged in a way that they never would be before.
My music makes my schoolwork better because, drums just make me concentrate.
Playing a musical instrument, it taught me that self-discipline that you need. And I think that helped me throughout my career in school and later on in life.
It really taught me how to work diligently. I don't think I ended up in the United States if it wasn't for music.
It's definitely not a luxury, it's a necessity, especially for kids in public school. I went to a public school. We need something to care about.
Not many children from South Bronx or public schools get to play in orchestras as large as mine, so it makes me feel proud.
There's just a balance in a school when there's a good music program. Kids feel purposeful, parents feel prideful, and I can tell when I walk in the door if there's a music program or there's not.
When I'm having a bad day and things go wrong, playing the piano makes me feel happier.
When I deliver instruments to the principals and the music directors, it seems like I'm Santa Claus.
Having been around music and having learned what I've learned about music makes the world so much more interesting.
I would hate to think that, that somewhere there is the next Alicia Keys or somewhere there is the next Yo-Yo Ma somewhere that we're not going to find because they didn't have access to an instrument when they were young.
I've always known that music was going to be my life, and I always really believed in that. And I think that's another thing that's very important, that we encourage kids who are talented to keep going and never give up, because music is so powerful, and if you connect with it, you can make a difference in the world.